Within each and every role player lives this homeless character who wants nothing more than to quiet the heartbeat of every living thing that stands in his way. Today we celebrate this all too familiar character with...
Well now, looky here. It's the Murder Hobo Show.
Like a big ordeal,
But I don't even know where we're supposed to be.
I enjoy it.
That's good stuff. All right, we're live, Jay. We're getting her done here.
Let's do it.
I need to go check a thing, which is going to be this, just to make sure that we got. All right, you say a thing.
Hello. I said a thing.
Oh, wait a second.
All right, I'm waiting a second.
All right, it looks like it's going through. I'm hoping I'm not pumping through twice is really what I'm hoping that I'm not doing. I think I can see myself going out on B3.
It doesn't look like coming out twice, but I can't hear anything.
All right, I'm going to assume that we're good, so let's get after it. Welcome to the Murder Hobo RPG Show. Can't hear me? Do I need to go out on 2? Can you hear me now? And if I go out on 2, God dang it. Maybe if I put you out on 1?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm going to have to highly edit this bitch. Yeah, I can't go out on 2. Mute. Let's try this. No, because I think I muted OBS.
Aha.
No, I gotta. This is just lame. I hate it when Discord does fucking updates, man. Every time they do updates, it fucks my shit up.
Each and every time.
La 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 la. Like, I literally sound like I'm coming out twice for some reason. Look, can you hear me on B1 or B3? Can you hear me now, Jay?
And now I can't hear you at all.
Yeah, see, I gotta go out on B2. The problem is B2 pumps out twice. Okay, now it sounds like it stopped. All right, we're getting after it. What's going on, Belle? My little sweet schnookums of love.
Oh, hey, Bill. Yeah, I moved. I don't live in Nashville anymore. I actually live right across the river from Portland, Oregon now. Gary and I are in the same time zone.
In the same TZ, we be PST peeps.
Yeah, he's in the old he's in the old and busted Vancouver. I'm in the new hotness Vancouver, Washington. The original Vancouver.
Wow.
The original Vancouver, the OG Vancouver. He's in the old and busted knockoff Canadian ripoff version.
Oh, wow. Unreal. All right, let's get after this.
Thank you. Let's do it, man.
Welcome to the Murder Hobo RPG Show, episode 39, Community Questions, recorded June 30th, 2021. I'm one of your hosts, Gary, a.k.a. the Murder Hobo, and I'm here with Uncle J. Raz, a.k.a. Captain Colon, better known as the Bum Bouncer, the Colorado Colonoscopy, or his wrestling ring name, the Crotch Crusher. His special move is the Silent Squirt, copyright, trademark pending, 2021.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's patented. You only got 3 more times to say that before you owe me about, what is $8.48 American, not Canadian.
Oh, $1 million.
1 million. That's how much it costs to buy a 1-room apartment where you live, isn't it?
Something like that. It's getting up there.
Man, how you doing, bud? In fact, how you holding up, man? Did you survive heat wave Mageddon of the Pacific Northwest?
It's insane, dude. So the highest recorded temperature, I believe, was 34.4 degrees back in 1939. We beat that 3 consecutive days in the row. From 34.4 degrees Celsius, we went from like 44, 45, 46. I think it might have capped out at like 47, 48 degrees, which is about, I think in the conversions, 117, 118 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah. It got hotter in this area. In fact, Portland's high I think it was 116. That is the highest on record for Dallas, Atlanta, Salt Lake City, and some other like southern areas, which and some Houston, Austin. I think that beats out a lot of the records in Texas too. So yeah, man, that's something you didn't expect to come up here. And the funny thing about it is we actually moved. We actually planned to move in June when we moved from Nashville up here because we wanted to get away from those miserable, god awful summers in Tennessee. And look what we came into. So
I think you brought the heat with you, Jay.
It doesn't get that man. You can't blame it on me, bro, because it doesn't get that hot in Tennessee. It just gets humid as god awful hell. Yeah. It gets like about 90, 92. I mean, every once in a while it'll creep into the hundreds, man, but I have never seen it 115 before here. Now I lived in Arizona for a while, and that gets up to, I was there when it was 120, 122. But yeah, 115 where you don't expect it, where people don't have AC. Yeah, man, it's a real kick in the ding ding.
Right. Speaking of ding dings, it was so freaking hot that I think I probably ended up. I think I didn't stop sweating for 3 days straight. My AC blew up. My air conditioning unit told me to go fuck myself. Like I tore it apart a couple of times, tried to clean some shit out of it. But when you put a shirt in the dryer and your shirt sort of like when you put it on after it comes out of the dryer, it's got that nice snug fit to it. But then you start sweating and shit, or maybe you after a day or so, not a day or a couple hours or whatever, and you're out working, and it starts to loosen up a little bit, like the threads sort of relax a little bit. I got underwear that when it comes out of the dryer, it fits like a champ. But a couple hours into sweating my fat ass off, these things were so loose that I think my balls slipped out, and I dragged them on the ground a couple of times. Oh. Speaking of something freaking stupid, did I show you did you see, you saw the picture of my fingertips?
Oh yeah, I saw you doing that when I guess you were taking a leak and you put your hand on the roller.
Yeah, the drum was spinning and I was standing there taking a leak, and I thought to myself,
that's what it's called.
I thought to myself, I'm just going to put my finger on the drum and my finger will take the dirt off. But literally the dirt took my finger off. And so you can see
the roller.
Yeah, look at you can see I got a little scab, a little dark mark, but my fucking took all the dirt off my fingers, a layer of skin, and I'm driving down the road after it's all said and done. Like 20 minutes or 10 minutes later, I'm like, why did my fingertips hurt? And I look down, they're bleeding. I sandpapered them off like a total ding-a-ling.
Gary, did you have a special seat when you were in class?
Well, yeah,
away from everybody else.
We had a bus. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Right?
Was the bus of a normal size, or was it a little smaller variety?
Well, there was only so many of us that were like, the smart kids, and it only had room for 10 to 12 passengers, kind of a thing.
And did you smart kids go to a special school?
Well, yeah, we got special classes because we were so smart.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yay! That's why they call you special. All right. So this is all right. Actually, that's your line. So you need to read about the. This is a podcast.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, well, see, that was a great segue into like me leading into special stuff. That was a great segue into
Jay, you should have just carried on. You should have ran with it, buddy. This is a podcast about role playing games because we likes them all. As usual, we're going to flippity flap through this in an attempt to sound like we know what we're talking about. And suck it, John Marlin.
And just so you know, we are an RPG entertainment podcast. And although you might occasionally be able to glimpse a nugget of truth or inspiration from our many years of gaming experience, we promise it will be unintentional. Also, please note that we stream this podcast live on Twitch and convert it to podcast format. You can check us out every second Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Unless something happens, then it will be another time, and we'll let you know when that happens. Or we won't let you know. You'll just tune in. And we won't be here, and then you'll be like, all right, I'll do something else.
Right. That's a good time to pick up a jar of lube. Maybe you get a scented candle, nice hot towel, warm towel, and, go polish your tires, wax your car.
Right, go,
Right? Do the dishes.
Hey, man.
Write a letter.
Take a bath.
Did I ever tell you about the old guy, Billy, that I work with? Billy's wife
Little bit.
Billy's wife Joanne and Billy, they have this little thing where he writes her, or they write letters to each other. That's basically fornication. But Billy's 74, 75 years old in a couple years, because I've been working there 20 years, right? So Billy used to write letters when he was 55, and we would crack
Yeah.
jokes about it. By the time he hit
Back there.
65, she's like, there's no lead in the pencil. So
Yeah.
he's like, there's nobody I want to write a letter to. I'm like, ooh, Billy, that's stiff. That'll get you divorced
Yeah.
in a freaking hurry. Tonight's show, we are going to answer some community questions and chat about some new stuff that we like in the RPG world. When we put a little bit of thought into it, which will probably be on the next one, we are going to have as a featured guest the guy, J.C. Thompson.
J.C. Thompson. Creator Gods and Monsters, I believe. He created Gods and Monsters, and he's got a new Kickstarter coming out.
Yep.
For his new setting, Stingers and Spores, and we're going to talk to him here pretty quickly. I think we're going to do that next week because I think we need to get our schedule kind of aligned because I think we missed a week when I was moving and everything, and so we did a week when I came back and everything, and so we're kind of like off schedule a little bit, but we're trying to get schedule back on order.
Should be good. Have him on the show, have a little chat. It's been a while. The last time we interviewed him, I believe, was on the Wild Eye podcast for, like you said, Gods and Masters. So he's got a new project he's working on. Where else are we going with that? Some new content. So let's get into the new content, Jay. Let's talk about this, the Four Horsemen universe. So the four Horsemen universe has got 5 days left, 318 backers, 45,000 smackers, man. For this offshoot kind of riffs, kind of, I don't even know what, it's a little bit of the after blended in there. Aliens come and you got mech suits, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's called the Four Horsemen Universe RPG, Savage World Edition. Rules of engagement: pick up your dice, power up your battle armor, and experience the Four Horsemen universe. Kill aliens and get paid. So I guess the premise of this one is aliens come. They kick the shit out of us, but it turns out we fight back, and they're like, hey, wait, there's only 36 other races that have ever fought back or have this killer instinct, and you guys are the 37th. How'd you like to become mercenaries? We'll send you off throughout the universe. You can blow up some weird-looking reptile dudes, take out some cat people, and, blow up some friggin' Teenage Mutant-looking Ninja Turtle guys. Right? You don't care, do you?
Man, no, I was just about to say, man, that sounds like that. Oh yeah, that sounds like my kind of fun, man. If you're just blowing up turtles.
Yep, it's got a tinge of the after with the aliens coming. You're out in the universe doing some stuff. It's got a little tinge of rifts because you got some power armor and some things of that nature. But 5 days left to go on this thing. I don't think I'm really selling it, but it actually looks pretty good. I backed it at the PDF level.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with the Four Horsemen universe though, but apparently if you go to chriskennedypublishing.com, there's a little primer on everything like that too, and it also talks about the universe itself was created back in 2016 by Mark Wandry and Chris Kennedy, and so in a little more than 4 years they've written over 60 novels in this universe and by dozens of authors, and so it looks like there's been several series that's been published about it. So if you want to check out more about the actual setting, you can go to chriskennedypublishing.com, and there's a primer on there, and that'll tell you which books to read and tell you where it's suggested order to read these books. And it looks like there's a bunch of it looks like there's several series. Like it looks like there's been I guess what I'm trying to say, there's several not anthologies, but there's a few story series.
Yeah,
they'll have one where they'll have storylines where it's going to have different. It'll have 4 or 5, or maybe even in some cases even more than a few dozen books or whatever. So if you're looking to take a deep dive into the Four Horsemen universe, man, go ahead and check that out. And also too, if you're wanting to play in something, if you're wanting to play in this new and looks like it's pretty new, successful series of books and whatnot, why don't you go check this out?
Yeah, I just kicked in for those watching on Twitch. I just kicked it in on the the old right monitor. The art looks pretty good. You got a great big purple bear looking dude with a friggin' gun. He's got his mouth open and a bit of saliva and spit in his mouth. Behind him is a giant mech looking guy in a suit. You got a dude that looks like a hyena man, and then a couple of just regular looking humans. Yeah, It looks good. I'm interested in getting the PDF and having a read through that.
Yeah, you have to tell me what you think once you get it. I don't know. I might, if there's a PDF. It looks like there's a digital book pledge, so it looks like you can do that. You can throw in for about $15 here American. So in 25, you can get the physical book, and it looks like there's a. Oh, let's see.
You know what I'm wondering, Jay? How do you get 318 backers and yet $44,438? That's Canadian, the way I'm looking at it. 318 backers, 44,000. Man, where's my? Let's see this here. 44,438 divided by 318. That means the average backer put in for $140.
Yeah, I wonder if there was some sort of like big like angel pledge or something like that. I don't, but because here's the thing too. It doesn't look like
that.
There's a. Well, I'm looking at the pledges here, and yeah, there's some $200 plus pledges in here, 250. Oh, and there's like a $500 pledge too. So,
gotcha.
Maybe some people have. Yeah, there's 4 backers on that one, so they only have 1 backer left at the $500 level. So yeah, maybe some people
wow.
Maybe some people really believe in this. And I'm not discrediting anything. I've never heard of the Four Horsemen universe. So, I think about Riffs and think about the Four Horsemen. I think about, the rest of the original Four Horsemen, Ric Flair and the guys in the old NWA wrestling territory and everything like that. Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson, and Tully Blanchard. That's what I think of when I think of the Four Horsemen. Woo!
Wow. Simmer down, Rusty. Simmer down.
Shut up, man. You get excited about stuff too. I'm just talking old school wrestling.
The Riffs is in for 131,082 with 1,341 backers. I did the math on that. $97 a backer.
Yeah, well, you know what, and here's the thing too: is I actually, as far as Riffs Atlantis goes, I went in for the whole, for the whole deal, for the whole money, and also too, what else did I pick up? You can buy like the VT, even though even though I'd rather run games in person or whatever, I still buy the damn VTT stuff that they have for it, and you can buy like all the VTT assets or whatever separately. And that stuff that you can just throw in yourself to like whatever game that you like, the Foundry or Fantasy Grounds. It's essentially VTT agnostic, so you can use it for whatever system. You can use it for Fantasy Grounds. You can use it for Roll20 and Foundry and the other ones.
Yeah, they just give you junk art, right?
Well, it's not junk art. It's good art, but they just give you a bunch of like they give you like tokens and they give you like bennies and they give you like the pawns that are already they already just kind of like pre-cut them out for you and they already like pre-style them for you. So that's kind of cool. So you got like already pre-made tokens and everything if you need them.
Yeah.
For that kind of stuff.
I complained a little bit on the comments, not really complained, just put a comment and right away, like there's always got to be that fucking guy that's got to prove you wrong. So if you've looked at the art that Pinnacle puts out, like for the old 50 Fathom stuff, I don't know if Pinnacle put it out, but it's one-sided. Most of the architect stuff that came with the Deadlands is one-sided. I did just recently go back and I found the pawn art, but it's not very high quality, and it is double-sided, and you only get so many double-sided characters. However, there is probably another... Shit, son, I don't even know how many. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you this on the screen because I convert. This is why I'm so interested in it. Is I convert it all over to my TTS, my tabletop simulator stuff. So here we go. I'm going to drag this over here, and you can see I've got some front art and some back art when you're checking this out. But look how many of these, like Jerem Heaston, Jay Goodman, most of these guys are. You see, I just silhouetted the backside because they don't have art. Like you cannot get. So I commented. I'm like, man, it'd be really nice if all the artwork that came out for even like the VTT stuff, because the VTT stuff might, like the Deadland stuff, just has one. There's a lot of one-sided art. This guy's got a pipes up. He's like, oh, the Deadlands pawns have double-sided art. Yeah, the actual cardboard ones do, but not the VTT stuff. Like, you really have to gimmick it up. So I'm hoping that they pick up the VTT aspect, give you front and back art. I tend to have it, some solid uses for it in game and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm really excited. They've got a pawn set, which is going to be nice.
That's one of the reasons why. In fact, that's another. I think the max pledge is like, or the true Atlantean pledge is like $100 American, but I threw in for like, just I'm snatching up a lot of this stuff because of the pawns I'm snatching up, and I wanted to, I guess we'll talk about this a little bit, while we're on the subject. Not like the 2 booster packs for what is it for Flash Gordon and what's the other one? I say booster packs, but booster sets. For Flash Gordon and ETU, they all come with pawns, and so I'm like, all right, well, shit, man, I got to go ahead and back those too. I kind of figured this is what was going to happen. Like, you're going to get these little packs where Pinnacle's going to push their own pawns, and I'm like, man, that stuff is handy to use. And like, don't get me wrong, I got 3D printers and stuff to print out the figurines. But man, if you're doing a lot of traveling and you're taking it to the game store, you want to break out your good shit all the time, man. You can just take your pawns and it's just easier to carry with you. You know?
The controversy. Let's talk about that for half a second. The cover art. Now, I'm not sure if I'm looking at it. I don't know if you've got the Twitch page up, but the cover art. So what was the problem? The problem was the Atlantean women were being too sexualized?
Yeah, I guess that's, well, some people have some complaints about it.
Yeah.
About that too. And so what they're going to do, I mean, do you know what's going to happen, don't you?
Oh, I think they're just going to refurbish the front art and just change up. They'll probably cover their butts.
They're going to put some pants on them. In fact, that's what they were talking about too. And in fact, if you look like, you look at the Altara in the friggin' Tomorrow Legion Players Guide, she's got on some sort of jumpsuit and everything like that too. And they had that going on. So there you go. So they'll take care of that. Man,
people just got to ruin it for me. That's what I'm saying. I like a good sexualization session. Is that what it's called? I like looking at ladies' butts, man. People are ruining this shit for me.
And that's the thing too. But preclaimer. Let me post this disclaimer. Like, Gary thinks everything revolves around him. Everybody. So,
hey, simmer down, mister.
Now we're able to laugh about this, man. So people were really getting heated about it, and I don't want to delve too deeply about it. But it is what it is. Here's the thing though, Gary. I would grab that screenshot before they get rid of it.
Alt just for print screen. There we go. You saw everything get dim. I'm going to save that.
Yep.
This is the thing, Jay, is I really don't care. I'm not opposed to this art because it is what it is. I'm not offended by female bums, and I don't really care about the whole sexualization thing, whatever the fuck that even means. It's you know what I mean?
Right.
As a man, I just want to say that as a straight man, as a cis male, whatever the hell that means, I don't think there's a woman that I've looked at in my life besides my grandma and my mother that I haven't sexualized in some fashion. So, call me. Yeah, don't call me.
well, I mean, just let Gary's going to be Gary. I don't have to. Nobody has to apologize for him. He's just Gary, and everybody, you either love him or you think he's a moron. And you don't know. I said you don't hate him. You don't ever hate.
Usually,
think he's a moron, but he's lovable.
Usually, it's the latter. But I do love the ladies of all shapes and sizes. Man, I'm telling you.
At least he's equal. I'll say this too. At least you're an equal opportunist. As far as you're an equal opportunist sexist or sexualizer. Not sexist, but sexualizer, I should say.
So yeah, do it yourself VTT. There's some VTT stuff. You're going to get little tokens, little nubs. I guess the art's not final. Hensley, you should probably go hit up Mark. Where's Mark Wandry and figure out how this guy's soaking people for so much cash money. Like he's.
I don't think Henley's got anything to worry about, man. They can just put riffs on something that's going to make
cool money. I'm excited for this to come out. Riffs is going to be sweet.
Speaking of which, man, have you? So I guess since we're on the subject of Pinnacle and everything like that too, your old buddy Carl from the Wild Die, Carl Cuser, who's one of the best people on earth, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
He was on. I guess he was on the. I guess Peg's doing like this little. What do they do? Like weekly, like Twitch streams or something like that.
Yeah. Fuck. Come on. I just want to complain about a thing because I feel like complaining.
Right.
So, go ahead, Jay. Do your thing. Then I'm going to complain.
No, I'm just saying that Carl popped up on the Peg show, and I guess he was talking to Chris Landauer, and they announced a couple things that I guess they finally were able to release. Let me get this here off my mic real quick. But that my baby, my precious baby, they're launching a Kickstarter for the new Superpowers companion in August. And
snap!
I'm so excited about that. And then October comes. They're launching a Kickstarter for Holler, which I'm really excited about too. Both of those, Holler and the Superpowers companion.
Now,
I'm so excited about both of those.
You know what gives me a bit of chub about Holler is
What's
Ozark.
That?
Have you seen Ozark?
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, man. Oh,
damn, son, that is a sweet ass fucking show with Jason
Bateman and Laura Linney. Yeah, it's fantastic. No, it's a really good show. But I tell you what, though, if you really want to get a taste of what Holler's going to feel like, you talk to your boy Matthew Jones, man. That's Kid Appalachia right there. He'll tell you everything about it. That boy is
Kid Appalachia.
That's Kid Appalachia right there, man. That boy's got a straw hat. He's got a set of overalls just waiting to pop on. He's happy to tell you all about that stuff. He's ready to teach you how to drink shine from a jug.
Yep. And then how to make a shine whistle or a shine horn out of it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I don't even know how to do this. I think I might be able to do it with my. See, you can tell.
Talking about.
Yep.
Teach you to play a little tune on the jug after you're done. There you go.
Almost got her going. That's how you do it in the city. You use a plastic Diet Coke bottle, but that probably just sounded like shit.
Or use a Coke can.
I feel like when you walk into Matthew Jones' house, he probably has like, instead of a flower bouquet, he's probably got a bouquet of straw. You just grab one like a container of toothpicks and stick one in your mouth there, and you get walking around there going, what's going on there, Matthew Jones? What's happening there?
Yeah. And you got to take off your shoes because nobody else has on any, or they don't wear them.
Yeah, well, they can't afford shoes wherever he's from. Where is he from? Kentucky?
Yeah. No, West Virginia. Same place, man. Where they my fault.
What's going on down there, West Virginia, Matthew Jones? What's got going on there?
That was awesome. That's awesome. You sound just like one of those cats down there. That's awesome.
What do you think of that there Loki fella there? He's being all bisexual and stuff like that there, Matthew Jones, huh? Huh? Likes them boys and them girls. That guy, he's just trying to get his wang wet and anything he can put it in there. All right. So, anyways, are you up to date on your Loki and your Bad Batch?
What? Bad Batch? No, I haven't started the Bad Batch yet, so I'm not up to date on that. But I don't care if you spoil it for me though, because I'm going to watch it anyway. I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, I won't tell you anything about it other than to say that it is fantastic. It is well put together. The stories are good. Each one of them is episodic. They create, again, like part of a bigger story, like all of them do. But they're really good. There's a lot of unanswered questions, and there's some couple of places where people come in and do some things. But the animation is actually really good. It's kind of weird because it's almost like there's two animation studios sort of working on it. Because sometimes when you're watching it, it's very Clone Wars-y kind of a thing, and then other segments are like super high-tech CGI new wave stuff kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like there's just some scenes that just blow you away. But yeah, it's good. The stories are good and stuff like that. I'm pretty interested in checking it out. And the Loki, man.
Oh, Loki's friggin' Loki gets better and better each time I watch it. And also too, like it's really one of these shows too that you kind of like, because I know how you are with time travel stuff, and I know how you are, you're kind of like, you kind of, it's got to be really good for you to really dig it. So, I mean, what's the saying about Loki, man? If you're digging it, I think they're doing a pretty good job with handling the time travel stuff.
I really enjoyed the way that they put it together. It's pretty funny. I especially like how they just take a shit on all of the Marvel movies when they show up at the time travel agency, and the
pretty
guy's
much,
like, "Yeah, we got these crystals here, and just sitting in a jar,
Right.
using for paperweights there, bud."
Yeah, that's to show how powerful these guys are. If an Infinity Stone ain't shit to these guys,
Right.
if they keep getting multiples of them, yeah, then how powerful is the fucking time variance authority?
Like, fuck
That's what I'm
off,
saying.
Marvel. Come on.
Right.
You spend fucking 15 fucking years building up the Infinity Stones. You come out with this ass-kicking fucking guy that can just basically lambaste the Hulk, take out Iron Man, kicks the shit out of all of the Avengers and stuff like that, and then you go from that to the cutscene where Loki picks up what was the cube called?
That's the Tesseract.
Right? So he picks up the Tesseract and he takes off, and then all of a sudden that entire storyline is just laid lame by the fact that the fucking Infinity Stones are paperweights in this place.
Well, all of this is leading up to the next big bad, and this is all leading up to the big Doctor Strange movie when they're going to start talking about like the multiverse and everything like that too. I mean, I can go on about what I'm going to speculate because I'm a longtime Marvel nerd, man. I love this stuff. I always love stuff, and everybody doesn't like it. You can suck it. It's awesome. And this is shit that I was waiting for when I was like 10 years old. Like 30 years ago. Actually, shit going on 40 years ago. Shit, now I'm getting old, man. But like, this is the shit I was waiting for. Like, it was like being a little kid. Like,
hey, why did
Iron Man? So.
You
I don't care if I am close to 50 and get all this stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you kind of popped off there. So yeah, who's the next big one? Dong the Destroyer.
Kang the Conqueror, man, and that he's a badass, man. In fact, what's interesting too is like he's not good. He's not as powerful as just like as raw powerful as Thanos is. But man, he is clever and he can get his way out of a situation. And like you cannot like. I mean, he's obviously done some stuff right if he can travel through time and not be caught and do the thing that do the things that he's doing. But I think ultimately you're going to find out, the timekeepers are, he's got something to do with them. I'm pretty sure.
So let me run a scenario by
the Destroyer. That's
but you know what? By the looks of it, we might not even get to community questions, man. We haven't even gotten out of the fucking first segment. But let me run this by you.
Okay. Right.
So in the last movie by Marvel with Thanos and shit like that.
Yeah,
there was a scene where Doctor Strange goes through something like 14 million iterations of looking for the one way that things worked, and he doesn't really describe
the one
it.
possibility, right?
But this is my problem with time travel. I know that Doctor Strange was just a regular human. He was just a regular doctor, right? And then he just got in a car accident, got himself all mangled up, found some little weird secret hidden place, got himself a magic cloak, and then he grabs the power crystal, which is really where he gets the Infinity Stone. And I think that's the source of his time traveling powers. He learns a little bit of chi, some wax on, wax off bullshit, but generally he was just a regular human, right? So here's what kind of throws me for a loop in these time traveling situations. He went through 14 million iterations looking at different things, but did not age one single day. While he's traveling through these things, his timeline or his life should still proceed at a normal pace. He can come back to the same time that he is sitting there at doing his things, but he has to go to that universe, spend at least 1 second or 2 seconds there to find out what Thanos did, and then check another multiverse thing and continue to do this. 14 million seconds is something like 34 years. You should have just seen him getting old, but he didn't age.
Or he could astrally. We've already understand. Well, you're doing this, Gary.
Now,
you're making me pull out my fucking nerd card. You're making me do this.
Get after it, Mister. Explain the thing to me.
Doctor Strange can astrally project. As we've seen in the original Doctor Strange movie, he gets his body knocked out. In fact, we even saw the Ancient One punch Hulk and knock Bruce Banner's spirit out of the Hulk's body. Doctor Strange can just astrally project and it can maneuver his way through time and space where he doesn't have to age. his own body does not have to go through there, dude, but his spirit can go and take care of all that stuff.
See?
In fact, in the comic book, Doctor Strange can use his astral projection, and pretty much Doctor Strange is more powerful in that astral projecting form when he goes through the comic book. If you read like back in the day, like I used to like the Defenders used to be my favorite comic book because it had Doctor Strange, the Hulk, Silver Surfer, and Namor, and that's all Doctor Strange would do. He would go through like he would astrally project through other dimensions and everything like that too. Now, this is my explanation for it. If you don't buy it, you can go suck it. But that's how I believe.
All I heard was
I don't read into fucking Marvel stuff. They're movies and they entertain me. If I start nitpicking everything like that, then I'm not going to enjoy anything.
No, I enjoy
That's how
them.
I do.
And I nitpicked the shit out of them. And all I heard out of that was ass and project.
Is that because that's all you wanted to hear? You're just like, oh, let me hear the things that sound close, most like ass and project.
Let me hear the things that most resemble what I already believe to be true.
Which you already want to hear anyway.
Right?
That's my interpretation for it. That's what. That's how I can explain it off. And it used to be back in the day too that Marvel, the Marvel comics, if you could explain something, a mistake that they made in the comic book, and you wrote it and you were able to explain something, explain something away, they would give you a prize. It wasn't officially a prize. It was called a no prize. It was essentially an empty envelope. But people used to frame these no prize envelopes that,
that's
you caught
cool.
Marvel you caught Marvel in a mistake and you were able to explain it away like within continuity. And so they were like, so they essentially give you a letter and sign all that stuff for you. So it was pretty neat.
How many of those do you have?
I don't have any. They would never publish my letters because I think I used to swear in them.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like Captain fucking America. Yeah, they don't like that.
They just put them in the stalker pile, eh?
Right,
this guy again.
Goddamn X-Men. Right. Goddamn X-Men. Can't kill off Colossus 40 times. Yeah, I used to get so mad at that. Every time I'd open an X-Men comic book, they were killing off Colossus. Like, goddamn, poor Colossus.
Right.
In
that office, guy. There's somebody sitting there. It's like, oh, there's just your damn J guy. He's writing another got us another letter. Put it over there, stalker pile.
Right. Why are you talking to him no more? Yeah, that's exactly how.
Shit, son.
We might. We could sit there and do this all night, and it's fun. Do you want to read a question?
Well, hold on a second. I think we got one left. Tomorrow, if you are interested in the Savage Riffs tattoo magic, there will be a 7 p.m. kind of thing or something like that with our buddy Sean Robertson. I'm going
Donald. I think it's Donald Shepsis from. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I don't want to mangle his name. But over there with Pinnacle Entertainment, Donald Shepsis or something.
Sheep ass. Shepis.
Yeah, Shepis or so. I don't want to mangle the poor guy's name or whatever.
Me neither.
Shepis. That's how you pronounce. That's what it's Shepis.
Could it be a hard take?
I think it or a hard P is Shepis. Yeah, I think or Sheepus. No, I think it's Shepis.
What if it's ski piss?
It could be.
Right?
I don't want to. Yeah, like I said, I
bet you money I could get Lamoureux to mispronounce it that way.
Oh man, it'd be a whole other P line.
A whole other P line. So yeah, Savage Riffs Tattoo Magic coming up tomorrow, 5 p.m. PS PDT. That's our time, bro. That's dinner time. Get a bucket of chicken, some fries with some gravy.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's what? Oh yeah, tomorrow's payday too. Yeah, hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Moving's expensive, man. I've been waiting for payday for a little bit.
Nice. All right. Well, let's hit a button over here because I think I got a Murder Hobo show intro. No, Outbred liner. Dude, where did it go to? Community question. Ooh, that's the one that we want, right? I think I got to go here and I got to do this. Community questions. All right. Okay, so let's get into this section, which is kind of we only got 20 minutes for this, but who cares? This is the part of the show, community questions, where we field questions that nobody asked us because nobody writes us letters anyway. So we go on the internet, sniff around the various sites, look under your parents' bushes outside their windows, maybe once in a while catch them having some sweet nookies. And
creep into your bedrooms, look at your private journals, read at your, read your deepest, darkest secrets of why you suck as a GM. or why
That's
you can't
right.
figure stuff out that plainly just that we can, that's plainly spelled out to you, and why you got to go on Reddit or whatever and ask questions that, Gary and I didn't have Reddit when we were younger. We had to figure stuff out on our own.
And
I
that's
love being able to throw that stuff
right.
out there. I love being that age where I could just, we didn't have to do that when I was a kid. So we had to figure it out.
Back when we had questions, it was uphill both ways to school. Know what I mean? There, got to walk that, and man, we couldn't find no straw either. Back in the Great Depression, we were hard up for straw. Couldn't even get a goddamn straw feedle in your mouth. Know what I mean?
Couldn't get no straw, no time. Know what I mean?
Couldn't have no jugs, blow, no music and stuff like that. So we just made moonshine.
Oh man, that's a new bit now. Now we're going to be the Murder Hobo Jug Band now after this.
I gotta fucking find out how we can get some jug music on the go. Question number 1. How do you handle notice rolls? Now, this is pulled out of the Savage Worlds Reddit. One of the eternal discussions in RPGs is how much information to give your players when it comes to notice perception checks. Opposed checks always add an extra layer to that, as the player will usually see you roll first, even if they don't know why, which will give away that another character is involved. In Savage Worlds, there's another wrinkle, as the target number is important to know to calculate raises and when deciding to use a Benny. Mm-hmm. How do you personally handle notice in Savage Worlds? Do you let them know if it's opposed or not? Do you let your players know the target number up front? Or do you only tell them after they've decided to accept their result?
Jeez. I guess the guy is just asking. I see right here. So there's no right answer here. Just how you do this. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just too old to try to be, cute and clever all the time. Like, waiting for my players. Like, all right, hey, there's an ambush coming up. Or I'm not going to do all that and be like, all right, so. I think you should let players know exactly what's going on, and in the sense that, I mean, just because the players know what's going on doesn't mean the characters are going to know, and they have to react to their character. You expect them to react how their characters are going to react. I say you just tell them up front what's going on. You just unbeknownst to what you guys are little do you know what's happening. An ambush is laid ahead. Make a notice roll to see what happens. That's how I would lay it out. I don't think you have to be overly clever about stuff, man. I'm the big proponent of KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
Mm-hmm.
There's when you start being cutesy and you start being, I don't know, then who's it for? Is it for the players or is it for you?
Yeah, and I like the I don't know what you call it, an acronym called SUCK, which is shut up, clown car. I just made that up off the top of my head, but that was pretty good, right?
I like it. I do. Yeah, I like it. Made me laugh.
In my many years of doing the Wild Die podcast, I have learned a few things because I listen to podcasts quite a bit. And somebody from the Savage Worlds GM's podcast, or the genius that is Eric Lamoureux, once told me that it is important. It might have actually been Gerald or Savage Daddy Gerald Gunning, and he made a good point. He's like, if you're gonna ambush your players or get them to roll for a notice, first of all, make sure that it means something, because we have in Savage Worlds, you have the Benny as a resource. It's an economy thing that we go back and forth with. The thing that he said that was sort of stuck with me is that you should always tell your players exactly why you want them to roll a notice. Roll a notice to see the ninjas that are about to come out of the tree and land on your head and chop you up. And you might be thinking to yourself, why the hell would you say that? But here's the thing. That sets a precedent for how important that notice roll is to that character. And in Savage Worlds, when you have bennies that allow you to re-roll, just like saving throws. Nothing, Jay? No? You just twitched a little bit? Yeah, shut up.
Okay.
Anyways, that's the premise behind it. In Savage Worlds, because you have bennies that allow you to re-roll a result, you should tell your players what they're getting into so they can decide whether or not they want to spend a benny to notice that, or how important it is to them. And Yeah, I think that's what you do. I think that's how you roll it. That's how I handle notice rolls. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is that you are going to notice, and then we pick it up from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially especially because this is a question that was targeted for Savage World specifically. That I say that's the best way to handle it too, because you do have the opportunity to spend a penny to change your fate, so to speak.
Right.
That notice roll. I mean, well, here's the thing: sneak attack is all based on notice. It's stealth versus notice, or surprise rather too. I mean, it's all the kind of sneak attack. You can do a sneak attack if that is a way to attack. But like the whole surprise, the surprise rule in Savage Worlds is all contingent on somebody noticing something that's going on, and if you fail that notice roll, then you're surprised, and you're not going to be dealt any cards. While the guy who surprised you, he's going to get dealt an action card, and sure enough, he's going to be able to attack while you're sitting there holding your pee-pee.
Mm-hmm.
Because you failed the notice roll.
This is the thing too. If I just said, Jay, give me a notice roll, and then you make that notice roll, and I don't give you the option to assess the importance to you in noticing this roll. Hey, make me a notice roll. Oh, you failed? Okay, ninjas jump down out of the tree. They start cutting you out, roll for initiative. That is not as exciting as somebody saying to me, roll for initiative, or sorry, give me a notice roll to notice the ninjas in the tree that are about to jump down and assassinate you. That lends such an amount of sort of tension and apprehension to that role and importance that it is, it just in Savage Worlds in particular, it's very important to, to sort of tell people what they're getting after, because I think that just makes that role that much more fun. That, you know what I mean? More getting after it. So yeah, that's
I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly too, because a lot of times people just want to roll notice to see if they find fucking loot. Right. Do I notice anything? Do I notice? Did that guy drop anything? Do I notice that? No, but I'll tell you what. That notice. Well, let's see if you notice these ninjas that are about to pop you in the a-hole.
Pop you in the butt, right in the butthole. Hey, Jay, make me a notice roll to see whether or not I'm going to slap you in the head.
All right. I'll look at 2. Crack.
Spending all my bennies immediately.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. I would not get slapped in the head.
Yeah. No,
that's all those bennies.
That's the gimmick with that one. That's why it's important in Savage Worlds, I think, to explain, because we have the Benny. The Benny economy is what makes it important. If you didn't have the Benny economy, right, it might not be such a thing. But I think that it's still a cool idea to tell your players what they're getting into, because, again, no matter whether you have a Benny economy or not, it still makes that role that you're about to make. It gives it that sense of either fear, dread, or importance, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, I say do it all the time in every game. Mm-hmm. Roll a notice to see my wiener slap you in the side of the melon.
I'm going to go ahead and grab this next question.
Sure.
All right. So next question that we have here is, what RPG setting would you like to see realized as a series? Personally, I would like to see AD&D's Dark Sun from 1991. Such a great world to visualize. Dark Conspiracy would be great. I don't know what Dark. I think Dark Sun takes place in the desert. I don't know anything about it.
No, and let me tell you about Dark Sun, Jay.
Yeah, tell me about Dark Sun.
Takes place on the world of Athos, a once lush and green planet. The magic, however, that was derived on this planet was basically sort of torn from the earth. So anytime you cast a spell, that magic came from the essence of another thing. So like plant magic and stuff. So as the world progressed and time went on, anytime somebody cast a magic spell, it basically sucked the world dry until it became this blazing ball of, desert and sunny shit. That's my understanding of it. There's a really good series of books that you can read called the Prism Pentad. And I think the Pentad means there's 5 of them, but it's really good. It talks about how there's no metal. Most of the stuff, there is metal, but most of the stuff is just bones. And you're making like bone daggers and bone weapons and stuff like that, because the planet is mostly desert and stuff like that. There's not really any wood left to speak of, so everything is just sort of made from again, like bone and whatever kind of scraps of shit that you can find kicking around, bone and animal parts and stuff like that, because that's really the only thing that's left. But when you're reading the first book, it's really cool because they're building pyramids and stuff like that. And they got these guys, I can't remember what they're called. They're some kind of chancellor, sort of a dude, whatever, but he walks around and he controls the people and stuff like that. And this guy does a thing the wrong way, and dude like sucks the energy out of the earth and fucking melts this guy's head. And it happens, and it's describing how his head literally lights up inside and starts to glow red as flames shoot out of his nose and his mouth, and he just turns his head to a burnt matchstick. And that's within the first page, and I was hooked. I was like, holy shit, this looks awesome. But yeah, that's the premise. You basically play on a big desert planet, and magic is, I don't want to say magic is severely limited. It's just that basically every time you use it. But there was this barbarian guy that was in the stories. This barbarian guy, he's a fighter in the pits. He meets a couple other people. Some guy named, I can't remember what his name is. But, he's like a politician or something like that. They go on this adventure, and shit happens as the story progresses. But here's the cool part of all of it: the barbarian guy figures out how to use the sun and draw magic or energy from the sun, and he sort of, instead of using earth magic, now uses sun magic, and he becomes wickedly powerful, which is actually really cool. Anyways, there's a lot of material written for Dark Sun. It's friggin' fantastic, but I don't think that I think that's already been realized, right? So something that's not an RPG that you would like to see. I could tell you which one I would like to see.
Well, that's what it's saying. That's exactly what it's saying. What's something that is an RPG that you would like to see in a series, not an RPG. Something that's not an RPG.
We just went on a fucking Dark Sun tangent there for a second. It's a cool kind of a setting.
Right.
Travelers
sounds cool.
Is one that I've talked about before that I think is fantastic, where you come from.
No, it's saying what RPG setting, not TV show, dude. That's already a series. What RPG setting would you like to see in a series?
I don't know.
Hello? I don't know. No, you already talked about Traveler and ad nauseum on the fucking Wild Eye and everything like that. What RPG said? I would say I would like to see Rifts as a TV show or Deadlands. Those
okay.
were my,
as a TV series.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Ravenloft. Have you read any of the Ravenloft books?
I know I like D&D books I haven't read. Like I've read the 5e Player's Handbook. That's the only D&D book I've ever read.
So everybody's familiar with Ravenloft, but Ravenloft is, I'm not sure if Ravenloft itself is just the area where Strahd is, or if I think it's the entire world, but inside Ravenloft,
I think so.
That's where my tattoo comes from. You've seen that one? That's Lord Soth,
yeah, your
right?
Black Rose tattoo.
So he is the head of not Barovia, but some other area, and he's the big bad guy for this area, just like Strahd is the big bad guy for the area that he's in. But the whole new book and stuff like that has all of these, I don't know, it's like the mist creates these little self-contained continents, and the only way that you can get from one to the other is by going through the mists and stuff like that, right? And you end up in, I don't know, I think Soth is in, no, not Soth, I think Strahd is in Barovia. I think that's his world, and Ravenloft is the
I think you're right.
But there's gypsies, there's Frankenstein, all of these ones, and so there would be a myriad of tales that you could tell, and the Soth stuff would be freaking fantastic. Soth was a Knight of the Rose, and now he's a Knight of the Black Rose, or a Death Knight of the Black Rose, or some shit. Anyways, he's married, and he's a paladin kind of a guy, right? He meets this beautiful elven woman, he rescues her, they fall in love, have a secret relationship, they don't get married, but she gets pregnant and stuff like that, and Soth goes back and kills his wife in this fake fire kind of a thing, and then goes and he tries to be with this elf lady, but his paladin peeps, all realize what he's done, and that's his fall from grace. So they get him in his own little palace that he's in this other place, and they basically siege the place and burn it to the ground, and he dies in his own little palace with this elven woman, and that's how he becomes a Death Knight. And ends up basically owning his own little area inside Ravenloft. So that would be cool. Ravenloft's got, man, the books were good. There's a bunch of gypsies and, like I said, a bunch of other cool shit.
No, that sounds cool. That sounds like something. Yeah, that sounds like something like TV, TV worthy. And like I would like to see Deadlands. I've never seen I guess maybe no. I've never seen like a horror western kind of sci-fi series. I mean, like there's been like. Kind of close, but not really something full fleshed out like Deadlands. But then again, man, I kind of have ideas about how cool like a Riffs TV show or would be, and
Yeah.
they have the technology to do it now. I know when Kevin Simbita started realizing this like so long ago, man. That, this was kind of outlandish, 30 years ago, but it's you could do it easily now. I know somebody. He just needs to get somebody who would do it, do it properly, and so those TV rights, man, and be something. I'd watch it. I'd watch the shit out of Riff's TV show.
Man, Scooby Doo is kind of is already sort of like ETU, but that'd be cool if they did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It had like a more mature college age kind of Scooby Doo,
Right.
sort of more serious.
Or like a 12 to midnight show, kind of like, just had to deal with all that shit there in Pine Box. That just a whole show about Pine Box. Yeah, that'd be friggin' creepy as hell, man.
Yep. It'd be
And
sweet.
like just if you just talk, just the show about Pine Box and ETU, the East Texas University is off on the side. You can have a story that goes on over there, but then mainly about all the creepy shit that happens in Pine Box. Man, the more I think about ETU and the more that I sit there and it's really the one that I like. I'm kind of known for wanting to play like Riffs or run the Supers games, man. But I really just in the back of my head, man, I would absolutely love to run East Texas University because it'd be something totally different than I've ever run before.
No, I had such a good time playing that with Pearson.
Yeah.
This is going to be a touchy subject, and this is go ahead, Jay.
No, I was about to say too. I was like, I see you bringing this one up, and I read it, and I mean. I'm like, if you want to do it, we can do it. But I mean, you're going to get my take on it. I'm not going to.
These are my kind of questions, man. I like touching or talking about stuff like this. So, do you know what Eli 5 is?
Yep. Explain it to me like I'm 5.
That's right. Might need an Eli 5 on this, but is D&D considered to be racist? My initial answer right out of the gate is no. Jay's might be yes, but I'm going to tell you why mine is no. I'm not going to say that there isn't racist stuff in D&D because there is. Basically, you have a human race. This is why it was deemed racist. You have human races, but you have the black humans, you have white humans, you have the Asians, and each of those groups, like the Caucasian white people would have like an intelligence stat, whereas the black races would have a strength stat, and the Asian races would have like a dexterity boost stat, and that is essentially what makes it racist. But overall, is D&D considered to be racist? No. They've corrected things over time. They're switching it up. And really, as far as I'm concerned, D&D is just... everything makes... You know what I mean? Makes like, look at the stuff that Hensley wrote with Deadlands and stuff like that. And there's slavery in it and stuff like that. And
do you know
what
the
I mean?
Confederacy? Well, yeah, with the Confederacy, like in the original Deadlands, I mean, the Confederacy went on for like a long, long period of time. Instead of the Confederacy in real time lasted 5 years, but he had it going on for like a prolonged period of time. And and truth be told, I'd heard that he'd been called a Confederacy apologist for a while, but then, I mean, he course corrected. Like when you know better, you do better. So
yeah. So what I'm going to say is the reason I say no is because I've never played it that way. That kind of stuff never crossed my mind. Maybe I realize that it's in the book, but it's not the way that I come at D&D at all. Never has been. And,
right.
Yeah. So anyways, I just want to touch on that for half a second. I thought that was pretty interesting, and I wanted to get your take on it.
Now, here's the thing to me, like, because I don't like, as far as like all the D&D lore, man, I don't know it. I really don't. I mean, and I know the basis. I know the basis, the basis and the concepts and everything like that too. Overall, I don't think Dungeons and Dragons was set out to be racist, just like you said or whatever. But if you have a group of people that perceive something to be racist, man, I can't deny that it's not.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can't say that me as a white dude or whatever, just because I don't find something offensive doesn't mean that a whole group doesn't. And I can't, and that's the thing. I just want to speak out to that it's absolutely true. Just because I don't find it racist doesn't mean that somebody else didn't find it racist.
Right.
And that's the thing. You got to bring that stuff to light too, man, because like, I'm glad that people are kind of like saying, like pointing this stuff out too, because like, we can't stay mired in like a lot of the mentality that we have, we can't, I want more people to play games, man. I don't want fewer people to play games, man. I want more people to play games with. And that's the mentality that I had, man. We need to, sort of, get rid of like sort of the, get rid of some of the old mentality. And I think we're doing a lot better by it. You know what I mean?
Some of us
Does that
are.
make sense? I think yeah, I think so. Well, I try to. I can't speak for everybody else. Some people are stuck in the past. Gary, no, I'm just kidding.
It's like the sexism thing earlier. Some people are annoyed by it. Some people aren't. Here's the thing, though. If you're annoyed by it and you want to change it. You're not going to hear me complain about it. You know what I mean? That's where I look at it. If it's not your cup of tea and it needs to be changed, I'm good. Change your way. I'll like it either way.
Yep. And, there's some, and also, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. And there's a lot of things too that I am going to speak for you, Gary, that sometimes that like me and you won't, we won't be able to see it as racist or where we were, or because we're not looking at something the same way. But sometimes, if things are pointed out to you in a certain way, you kind of like take a step back. You're like, oh, okay, I can see that. And then you come to an understanding. That's my take on it. And I think there should be more dialogues like this, that we should be able to talk about what, determine what some people would consider racist and, and move on from there, just that's the way I see it.
I agree. I just want to see more boobs.
At the end of the day, more boobage.
Western character without a firearm. I thought this was a really cool question. He says, hello, me and my friends are starting a relatively grounded Western campaign and I like to be contrarian, so I'm trying to think of ways to play without a gun as my primary weapon. Well, you don't have to be a white guy with a gun. You could be an Indian shaman. You could be an Indian warrior. You could be a healer. You could play. You
could be a martial artist.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, like here's the thing too, man. You got to, like me and my wife were talking about this, man. I mean, the West was built on Chinese railroad workers, man, and so there's nothing. I mean, that's why they're incorporated in Deadlands. They incorporated the Chinese very heavily into Deadlands because they were present. They built the West.
Let me tell you my quick funny story about playing as a martial artist. Wesley, this guy that I played with at Nerd Haven, we played Don't Drink the Water, which is a really cool Savage Worlds Deadlands adventure. You get to the end part of it, no spoilers, but some things happened. And Wesley he wanted to play a wrestler, so he had a wrestling mask and stuff because he was what are the Mexican wrestlers? Nacho Libras?
Yeah, Nacho Libras, luchadors.
Luchadors, that's what they are. So anyways, he wanted to play one of those. I'm like, have at her. So we get to this end area, and it's a big open sort of a deal with a well in the center, and zombies are coming out. And he's trying to run towards a zombie, but anytime he did, he would move his pace. By the time his pace was up and his turn was over, that's all he could do. And then somebody would just shoot the zombie he was running at, and he'd have to go across the other way to go get another zombie. So he spent the entire combat just basically running from point A to point B and never hitting anything because people with guns were just shooting the shit that he was trying to run towards. And so be careful if you're going to play a character without a firearm. I don't know if you're going to have magic in your setting or anything like that, but a priest would be a cool class if you wanted to buff some people up and, give them some holy prayers and, as far as Savage Worlds goes. But man, that was some funny stuff.
Now, I actually played as a Western character who without a firearm when Eric was running. When I was playing Deadlands with Eric, I'm trying to think of which one was. It wasn't Don't Drink the Water. Which one? I don't know which one you played. It was the train one. I'm trying to think of what it was.
So if it's not Savage Worlds and it's just a straight up Western, how do you go about doing it without magic and without playing? I guess you could use knives.
Yeah, I mean, if you're combat, if you're combat focused, man, you got some. Well, hell, man, there was all kinds of people that people that you fought with knives. You got people who threw knives or whatever. Hell, you had somebody with a bullwhip. I mean, my character that I played in Deadlands, he was a boxer. Yeah. He was a world champion. Well, not he was the heavyweight boxing champion of Ohio. He was called the Knucklesmith, man, because he'd throw these things, man, and he was able to do all right until goddamn Nosferatu attacked, and you have to hit them right in the heart with a called shot. Fortunately, he was able to, break off a stake and use that, for a little bit. But man, that damn penalty, that damn -4 penalty, man, is a bitch.
Oh, that's friggin' fantastic. Let's see, where are we at here? Let's do this one next. This one says, what is your favorite type of encounter in a TTRPG? Puzzles, combat, or social, or something else? What do you got, Jay?
You know what my favorite is, and I never, ever, ever get to do them. And I never get to do them. I got to do it once. And funny enough, I got to do it in Rifts. Have you ever run a social conflict from Savage Worlds?
I don't think that I have.
Social conflict is probably one of my favorite things to run, and I get excited whenever I get a chance to do it. Because you can, I mean, the social conflict itself is just a rules, mechanic. But like what you use it for is a case of like courtroom scenes or anything, or when you really need to like persuade, the ruling body, or like persuade like a leader or a king or somebody who's in a position of power. If you really need to have this scene where you need to get this information, or you need to gain access into something, or you really need to persuade somebody to, to do this or that or the other. Social conflict is one of the best things to do. And the rules in Savage Worlds are great because, it's usually just about 3 rounds, the 3 rounds of a couple posed rolls, and then you accumulate some tokens. And depending on how many tokens you have, that's how much status or influence or whatever you've gained with this person. If you don't gain any tokens and the person's like, nah, screw off, I'm not going to help you. Up to if you gain 5 tokens, that person's going to, marry you and have your babies and, give you the kingdom and, shit out a gold brick for you or whatever else you need,
I'm down with having some babies.
Right. We've had a couple.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Maybe.
I'm down with...
What about you?
Here's the thing, man. So my favorite kind of encounter, I do enjoy the social aspect of it, like role-playing and stuff like that. I like being in character and, goofing around and stuff like that. I like it when they're fun and lighthearted. But I think combat is my favorite part because I really enjoy strategy. Like I was a big chess player when I was a kid and stuff like that. And the idea of having maps and minis and planning my strategy, watching what other people are doing and reacting to them, that's kind of my favorite part. And so, yeah, I would have to say that I'm a combat guy. Puzzles can fuck off as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. I think we've kind of moved past puzzles because we know that puzzles only challenge, they're supposed to challenge they're not challenging the character, they're challenging the player. And there's that fine line between player and, who's the game for,
right?
Who's really experienced in the game. Now the puzzles are for, the puzzles are just old school mechanisms, man. They have other mechanics, the way that you can, like a dramatic task is really fun in Savage Worlds. I really, as soon as, also another thing that I really like is I call it skill challenges because I guess so maybe the origin, I don't think the origin came from 4E, but that's what they called them in 4E, and that's the phrase that I use. But but they're in a lot of other systems that we played. I mean, they're in Torg, they're in Age, they're in Savage Worlds. I mean, they're in they're kind of not. I don't think they're in. They're kind of sort of in not in the Fantasy Flight games, but I really like that as well, like the dramatic task and the dramatic skill challenges and all that. That really gets me excited because then you can actually, you envision, that's how a heist is going to go down. Like this person's got to go ahead and, crack the security system. This person's going to go ahead and, drop the security cameras. This person's going to go ahead and try to get the key to get into the room, all these different elements. It's also just a fun way to incorporate everybody into, one big scene.
I could not agree more. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that shizzle, man. Dramatic tasks. I had the best time doing this dramatic task in a Starsky and Hutch game that I played. They were chasing this guy. They came around the corner, and as they come around the corner chasing this guy into a junkyard, he had jumped out in front of this old station wagon with this old granny in it. She crashed into a pole, and I lit the fucking thing on fire. So here we are with a dilemma. Do you chase the bad guy down, or do you stop and help Granny? Well, they stop and help Granny. I was like, boot, dramatic task, here we go. You try and get Grandma out of the car. She's pinned underneath or caught by some stuff. The car's on fire. And I just laid it out. I'm like, if you don't succeed in this dramatic task, man, you're going to explode. And it literally came down to the last dice roll to get his last sort of success. And yeah, it was pretty sweet. They ended up pulling Grandma out just before the station wagon blew up. And yeah, I saved the day, which was cool. It's probably my favorite dramatic task that I've ever done or had. It was very intense and cool. Go ahead.
Oh, let me tell me mine real quick, and then we'll get out of here. But no, I had one that was very similar in Rifts. That was, I always get a kick out of like our murder hobo was of the Rifts group was was a friend of mine, his wife, who's got a master's degree and everything like that too. Just like the least unassuming person you would think that plays a murder hobo. But yeah, she usually plays as a dragon or somebody who can, or as a wizard, with fireball. And so she didn't like. We had a situation too where they'd captured this. You played the Garnet Town Gambit, right?
I did. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the end villain, I took Simon. He was my big bad for the whole little campaign that I was doing, and they like tied him up afterwards, and they were like trying to interrogate him. Well, the dragon didn't like what was going on, so she just set him on fire, and so she set the whole building, because you roll to see what catches on fire too. You're like, all right, I'm going to see well, looks like all of this whole building is catching on fire. So it was like I had to do a dramatic task because there was, I had to do a dramatic test where they had to like stop the fire from spreading into the rest of the village. And what was it? I want to say it was my wife's roll. And like we drew a card, and sure enough, it came up with clubs. And I'm like, all right, here's your roll. And come to find out, the mayor's son that was in the that's in the Garnet Town Gambit, the one that kind of gets in trouble a lot. I was like, he's in that barn. You come to find out, you hear a kid screaming in that barn, and everybody's like, oh shit, you didn't. I'm like, man, don't put a kid in my way, dude. I will put a kid in danger any chance I get.
I will burn babies all day long.
And sure enough, they didn't make the dramatic task.
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
Poor kid. No, poor kid. That's what happens, man. I didn't want to kill them, but something bad had to happen, for them failing the dramatic task. But that turned into a big, story element and everything like that too. And that's what led into that social conflict later on, where they had to convince the mayor to help them. And I had her turn out to be like this secret mystic who was super powerful and everything like that too, who needed, who had all this power and whatnot. But, she didn't want to, after her son died, she didn't want to get involved anymore with anything. So they had to convince her, to help them stop the world break. Yeah, I had this whole, it was crazy.
That's good times.
This is crazy.
It
is good times.
It's the one thing that I like about dramatic tasks is you have to make the end result very dramatic to make it,
or otherwise you're just it's just whacking off, man. You gotta make the dramatic task mean something, or otherwise it's not a dramatic task. Otherwise it's just a something to do task.
So tell me more about this whacking off thing.
Well, when a young man reaches a certain age, he gets a special feeling down below.
They put him in a barn and they laid it on fire. And yeah, if that little boy there, he can't get out, that's how what's it gonna do, right? It's a survival of the fittest, right, Jay? Know what I mean?
Know what I mean? That's right, boy.
All right, fuck this place. It's bullshit, and we're out of here. Where is my outro bedliner?
We're gonna put a pin in this bad boy, as you usually say.
Oh man, where's my stuff, Jay? I gotta do a thing here. Because sometimes I just screw stuff up, but I think this is it. Can you hear this?
But I bet you somebody else can.
Wow. Do I got to put it on 2?
There you go.
All right. That's it for this edition of the Murder Hobo RPG show. We hope you enjoyed it. Now beat it. That's what I got in there, Jay. Yep. Get the hell out of here.
I like that. Take off.
Scram, losers. I used to say get your vaccinations, you conspiracy theorist freaks, but now I'm telling you not to get them. Enjoy your travel bans. You're sitting around the house with your thumb up your ass, and the harsh case of COVID you're going to contract and die from probably. I, for one, will be happily crossing the border to to hang out with the little sexy man-on-man RPG time with Jay.
Man, they're opening up the state tomorrow. Washington's back in full function, except for like the big, huge crowds, man. We go see movies again, go hang out in restaurants, you go hug people. Yep. Man, we even talk about like playing games in RPG stores again, motherfuckers.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Damn
That's
straight.
what I'm talking about. So if you're interested in submitting to community questions like we did tonight, so you can hear us poke fun at you and not otherwise answer your questions honestly, you can do so at murderhoboshow@gmail.com. Otherwise, send your hate mail to something. God damn it, I don't have anything.
Oh.
I know. Uncle J Raz. There we go.
Wow.
Because Uncle J Raz dropped the ball on that. No, when I'm usually in a good mood, man, I don't have anything to crap on. Everything's been very positive.
All right. Well, you can get us on Twitter at The Murder Hobo Show, on YouTube at The Murder Hobo Show, where I show you how to make three-dimensional battle maps for role-playing in Tabletop Simulator, among other stuff. You can watch me do this live on Twitch at The Murder Hobo Show, but be warned, there isn't a set time, and I haven't done it in months, to be honest with you. I'm a fucking busy dude. I've got a full-time job, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and he's putting this stuff. You're putting this stuff out for free, man.
Oh man!
So when you get it, you get. When you get it, you get it.
I'm giving it away like expired Skittles.
Yep, like Halloween candy.
Like,
You're just giving away. All you got to do is come by.
From 2018.
From 28, yeah, Halloween candy from 2018, like expired medication from 2018. He's giving it away, folks.
That's right.
And something else too. You can find what we discussed in the show notes, organized by most recent at the top, over at murderhoboshow.podbean.com.
That's right. Thanks for listening. Be sure to tune in next time. Actually, like I said, we're going to have JC Thompson. I got to screw his name up. JC Thompson come on for his stingers and scorpion butts.
Stingers and spores.
Stingers and spores. And so that's going to be kind of cool. I'm excited to. That's it's a little anthropomorphic kind of a deal we got going on there, and we'll be talking to him soon. So. We're going to have another action-packed show. We're going to talk about things we know little to nothing about next time. Sound professional doing it. Have a great gaming weekend. We are out of here. Say goodbye, Jay.
So long, folks.
Beat it, bitches. Now I got to find the friggin' outro. Murder Hobo RPG Show is not affiliated with or endorsed by any companies mentioned on this show. Any of the products mentioned on our show or that appear on our website are the property and copyright of the respected owners. All items are used under fair use for educational and review purposes. All other items are the intellectual property of the Murder Hobo RPG Show. Copyright 2021. All rights reserved.